All right, AP Psych. So what I have in front of you is the explanation of the final exam, final project. And for those of you who weren't in class to hear the explanation, I thought I would make a screencast so that you didn't have any questions as to what the expectations were. Well, over the course of the school year, you've been introduced to all kinds of things related to psychology. And for this project, you're going to need to do an in-depth research on any topic of interest that pertains to psychology. So really, the sky is the limit. Hopefully, this is an opportunity for you to pick a topic that you either know is related to psychology, but we didn't have an opportunity to discuss it during the year, or something we did talk about that you wanted to go into more depth on. So you can work by yourself or at most in a group of 3. If you do choose to work with someone in another hour or in Miss Lobby's class, you will need to present by yourself in class just to avoid the kind of paper-keeping nightmare that it would create for Mrs. Lobby and myself. So if you are working with someone in another class period, you do have to present independently on your own. All right, so on this sheet it does say you're going to be presenting for 10 to 15 minutes, but we decided to dial it back a little bit just for the sake of time. It's going to be an 8 to 10 minute presentation. Now, if you're working by yourself, it might be closer to 8 minutes. If you're working in a group with 3 people, it's my expectation you'll be closer to 10 minutes. You do have to have 2 visual aids, as you can see listed right here. If you do use a video clip as part of your presentation, like let's say you've created a video, you still need to have content that is spoken. So let's say you have a 10-minute presentation, you need to not have more than 5 minutes worth of video. So because we switched it back to an 8 to 10 minute presentation, if you had 5 minutes of video, it's my expectation that you have 3 to 5 minutes of content or spoken information. See me if you have any questions on that. It is also my expectation that you are not reading from a script when you're presenting the information. This is your final project, your senior year. You should be an expert on your topic. And if you do need a note card, because let's face it, getting in front of your class is a scary thing, and I know public speaking isn't something people are big fans of. You need to talk to me in advance, and I do expect that your note card only has key points on it, that your script is not written out. So some ideas for visual aids can include YouTube video clips, video that you in fact have created of maybe a experiment that you are recreating, some footage from, I don't know, let's say you did the bystander effect and you create a emergency situation and you videotape whether or not people respond or whether or not they walk by. That is an example of a video clip. You can bring in 3D models. I've even had people bring in guest speakers for part of their presentation. For example, I had a student last year who did police interrogation and hostage negotiation, and her dad was in that field, and he came in and spoke for part of her presentation. I also had someone do animal therapy, and they brought in someone who trains helping dogs, and they brought their helper dog with them too. So that would be an example of a visual aid. If you have any kind of like handout that the class is given, you can include that as a visual aid. You can have a PowerPoint or a Prezi, anything that is technology-based. You just have to make sure that you're not relying on your iPad for presentations, because you guys will be handing those in. So when we actually present, you will have to be able to access anything from your email or from the YouTube account or something like that. So the first thing you need to do is pick a topic. I'm going to put up a topics list in a minute. You're going to either select a partner, decide your topic, determine how you're going to present it, research it, make or build 2 visual aids, practice, 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 and these are the dates in which we will be presenting. You do not have to come on the to class on the day of finals, but even if you are done presenting your presentation, you need to be an audience member for the rest of the class. So when you look at the rubric, you basically get 10 points for your use of class time. And we have several hybrid days, so people who are in the 85% or higher category, they don't actually have to come to school on those work days. So it's kind of like you're given those points. However, if you're working in a group or one of your partners doesn't come and they're below 85%, they'll be deducted points, and you will in fact have that penalized in your overall grade as well. You get 5 points for being original. If you've researched a new topic that we didn't cover in class, it's an easy 5 points. If you do present on a topic that we've learned about already, you need to go into more depth. You need to cover new additional information, or you'll lose those points. Your visual aids are 15 points. Did you incorporate it into your presentation? Did it enhance the topic? Could everybody see it from the back of the room? If you used a video clip, did it stay under 5 minutes? Those sorts of things. You do need to give credit where credit is due. We're not telling you how many sources you need to have, but you do need to cite your sources appropriately. For the presentation portion down below, you get 30 points based on the fact that you're an expert on your topic and you have your presentation memorized. It's well rehearsed. You know who's exactly saying what if you're working in a group, and you know how to pronounce everything. You get 5 points in simply keeping the audience engaged. And then in terms of content, did you go in depth and was it accurate? So a total of 65 points possible. If you look at the topics list, this is a list of topics that I've come up with over the years, but of course, it's not something that you are limited to. This just kind of is a starting place. And you guys can, of course, really cover anything, that's related to psychology. But what you'll want to do, especially if you're late to signing up for the project, is you'll want to check and see if a topic has already been covered, because I don't want more than one group presenting on the same topic, because that would just kind of be boring. So when you get an idea that you want to present on, make sure you let me know and I'll write you down.